Hi, Karen Seltz here with 5 pieces of advice for anyone struggling with addiction who's ashamed to ask for help or to speak about it. Tip number 1, make the decision that you are worthy of a clean life that you can be proud of. It all starts with that single moment where the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of stepping into the unknown. You are the only one that can make that decision. And I want you to know that you were created worthy. There's not a single thing you can do to be any more worthy. And there's not a single thing you can do to be less worthy. You are just plain worthy, no matter what. Tip number 2, know that you are not alone. Everyone who's struggled with addiction has this condition of thinking you are terminally unique, meaning there's not a single other person on the earth that feels the way you feel, or thinks the way you think, or behaves the way you behave. There's something so comforting to walk into a 12-step room and hear somebody telling your story. It's also amazing when you can feel what it's like to be accepted no matter what, like exactly as you are. Tip number 3, do the Inspired Performance program to resolve unresolved trauma. The root of addiction is trauma. As human beings, when we are in pain, it is in our nature to seek comfort. And that comfort may come in many forms: alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, overeating, shopping. You get the point. When we go to a behavior or a substance like that and it makes us feel better, even for a few minutes, we are likely to repeat it. If we repeat it enough times, we create a habit loop. So even when the behavior or substance doesn't work anymore to make us feel any better, we continue doing it, which leads to more self-beat up. So when you do this program, you are actually installing new hardware. It's like a system reboot for your brain that will support new habits and behaviors that will be you at your best self. Tip number 4, put yourself and your recovery first. Treat your recovery like it's life and death, because let's face it, in many cases it is. If there was ever a time to be selfish, this is the time. You've all heard the analogy, put your own oxygen mask on first before assisting another person. It's the same in this case. You get to make your mental, spiritual, physical, intellectual, emotional health your #1 priority, because you are no good to anybody when you're functioning at 10% capacity or whatever it is. So feed yourself, nourish your soul. Also, check in with a recovery buddy or a really trusted friend anytime you make a decision, because your decision maker has been broken. So you get to learn what's a yes for you and what's a no thank you. Tip number 5, work with a mentor or sponsor. Isolation or depending only on yourself is what got you into the addiction, and it will keep you stuck there. Stepping into this place of willingness to be supported by others, to ask for help, is the biggest gift you could give yourself and your loved ones. There is a saying in 12-step rooms, my best thinking got me here. And what that means is, until you have some recovery under your belt, you get to rely on others before you make big decisions or even little ones for yourself. And I want to add to that, what got you here, meaning in your addiction, will not get you there, as in where you want to go. So choose someone who has what you want, whose life you'd like to emulate. Say, gosh, I really want to be happy. I really want to be free. I really want loving relationships. Whatever it is that you want for yourself, find that person and ask them to mentor or sponsor you. And lastly, I want to share with you that recovery is 100% possible for you. I know it is. I know it is. You get to make a decision with such firm amplitude that it changes everything. You just put your stake in the ground. You're like, this is the last time that I'm going to engage in the addictive substance or behavior. I am worthy of more. Because let's face it, there is not a single person in the world who has your unique set of abilities, talents, gifts, and wisdom. You are what the world is waiting for. You, clean and sober. And if you even have a thought of being sober, that means that it is a possibility for you. So cling to that. Pray for help, pray for guidance, ask others for support, and know that you are not alone. You've got this.